All right, guys, question number 19. So, question number 19 says that the formula for simple interest is given by I equal PRT, where I is the interest earned, P is the principal, R is the interest rate, and T is the number of years. Solve the formula for T in terms of P, I, and R. So for this question, what you want to do, guys, is that you want to rearrange everything in terms of T or solving for T, okay? So your aim is to get that T all by itself, okay? So first we need to locate the T. So the T is on the right side. But the T is not alone. The T is attached to an P and an R. Alright? I don't see any addition signs in between them, nor a subtraction sign. So I'm assuming I'm multiplying. Okay? So I need to get rid of that P and that R because I need T all by itself. So to get rid of two things that I'm multiplying by, I need to divide by those two things because the opposite of multiply is divide. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to divide by those two things, P and R. All right? So I need to do the same thing over here, divide by P and R. Okay? Because if I do it on one side, I have to do the same thing on the other side. So these cancel each other out, and I'm left with T all by itself. All right? And T would be equal to I being divided by PR. And that would be the result. Okay? So again, guys, this can be a little tricky, guys, but if you can follow the steps that it requires, you should be fine. All right? So capital P, because I don't want to mess up if it needed a capital P. Okay? So again, guys, just like that. Okay? So let's try another one, because again, these can be a little tricky. Okay? So for this one, guys, it says the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle is P equal 2L plus 2W. So 2 length plus 2 width. All right? So that is the formula for perimeter. Okay? So it says solve for the formula for W. So the aim is to get W all by itself, okay? So first thing you're going to do is locate the W. So where is the W? On the left or on the right? On the right. But the W has a 2 attached to it, and then it has a 2L in front of it, okay? The first thing I'm going to need to do is to move the 2L to the other side, all right? Just so that I can get the 2W all by itself, okay? So to move a positive 2L to the other side, that is not a couple. I would subtract 2L, subtract 2L. This will get canceled. And can I subtract 2L from a P? No, because they're not the same letter. They're not like terms, all right? So I write it as P minus 2L is equal to 2W, all right? So now I'm going to break up that couple because, again, I need only W by itself. And this 2 is being multiplied by W. So how would I get rid of that 2? By dividing by 2. And if I divide by 2 on the right side, I need to do the same thing on the other side. All right? So W is equal to P minus 2L over 2. And that is my answer. All right? However, I can actually simplify this a little bit more to be P over 2 minus 2 over L, or minus 2L over 2. I cannot divide P by 2, so it stays as P over 2. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1L. All right? So again, I can use either one of this answer or this answer right here. Okay? But I'm going to use the one that I put the box around because that's the one that I think most of you won't make a mistake on. All right? So fraction P minus 2L being divided by W. Okay? So, and I don't think if you put a lowercase p, it would be incorrect. I think it still would be correct. Please be correct. All right? I'm assuming. I don't know for sure. It might mark it wrong. It loading this long is making me skeptical. Okay? So, or I could write p over 2 minus 1L. So I guess you have to write it as a capital P. So again, oh no, I wrote W at the bottom. It was supposed to be over 2. So again, this should have been a 2. Okay? That's what I have written here. So again, I made a mistake. It happens to the best of us. Okay? Just got to keep on trying. Keep on trying. Okay? So again, guys, I funnily got the same question again. All right. So accidentally I got the same exact question again. So see, that's why you gotta keep on trying, guys. That's why you gotta keep on trying. And I'm gonna try the lowercase p again to see if it would work. All right, over two. Okay. So let's see if it would work. And it works. So it doesn't matter if it's lowercase or uppercase. I just didn't type it in properly. But we got a second chance. That's why you gotta keep on practicing. Okay. So for this one looks a little bit more complicated. All right. So I'm glad we got one that was a little bit more complicated. All right. So we have A is equal to half, or the formula for area of a trapezoid is A equal 1 half H, base 1 plus base 2, where H is the height and B1 and B2 are the two bases. Rewrite the formula to solve for B1. So we're trying to solve for base 1. Okay. So we have A equal 1 half H parentheses base 1 plus base 2. So first things first, guys, we need to locate where the B1 is because that's what we're solving for. We're solving for B1. So the B1 is on the right side. So the B1 is inside of the parentheses with a B2, okay? So I can't get rid of the B2 as yet. It's being multiplied by H. That's also being multiplied by 1 half, okay? So what we're going to do is that we're going to get rid of the 1 half first because it's the furthest thing away from my B1. All right. To get rid of that 1 half, okay, you're going to multiply by the denominator, all right, and divide by the numerator. Okay. So I'm going to multiply by my denominator of a 2, multiply by my denominator of a 2. That cancels out that 2 at the bottom down there. Then I'm going to divide by the numerator of a 1. All right, divide by numerator for 1, and that cancels that 1 right there. Okay, so 2 times A is 2A, and 2A divided by 1 is still just 2A. Okay, and I have that it's equal to, so these 1 half and the 2 over 1 cancels, H being multiplied by B1 plus B2. Okay, so again, I need to find B1, so I need to get rid of the H before I can get rid of the B2. To get rid of that H is being multiplied by that parentheses, so I'm going to divide by H and do the same thing on the other side. And now the H's are gone, all right? So now I have 2A over H is equal to B1 plus B2. I can now get rid of the parentheses because there's nothing in front of it, okay? So now my final step would be to isolate B1. B1 is being added to B2, so to get rid of an adding B2, we would subtract B2. Subtract B2, okay? The B2s are canceled, and I would end up having that B1 is equal to, do you think I can subtract B2 from 2A? No. So I will have it as 2A over H minus B2. And see how I have the B2 all by itself? Just like that. Okay? So let's type that answer in. So 2, I'm going to use lowercase a, see what happens. H, and then minus, click this for B2. Okay? So, yep, just like that. Okay? And I recommend keep on practicing for these because there's a lot of different variations. All right? And I want you guys to be able to can see all the different variations. Okay? So again, I recommend that you practice this question. So this one says solve for H for this equation. All right? So again, we're solving for H using the volume of a cone formula. All right? So I have V equal 1/3 pi r squared h. All right, so that symbol right there is pi. Okay, so pi is a number 3.14 and it's recurring. Okay, or 22 over 7. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, guys, is that I need to find the value of h. I need to first locate h. H is on the right side. That's being multiplied by r squared. That's being multiplied by pi. That's being multiplied by 1/3. I don't see any addition or subtraction signs, so I assume they're being multiplied. First I'm going to get rid of is the 1/3 because it's the furthest thing away from the h. To get rid of a fraction, you multiply by the denominator and then divide by the numerator. All right, so this cancels this cancels this. 3 times v is 3v, and 3v divided by 1 is still 3v. Then I have a pi, and that's being multiplied by r squared, that's being multiplied by h. So now I need to get rid of what, guys? I would need to get rid of the pi and the r squared. You can actually get rid of both the pi and the r squared together. The reason why you can get rid of them together is because both of them are multiplying by h. So I can get rid of 2 multiplies by doing 2 sets of divides, okay? So I would have to do the same thing here. Divide by 2 sets of divides. This will cancel, and your h will be equal to 3v being divided by pi that's being multiplied by r squared. Okay? So again, guys, the more you practice, the better you'll get at this. Okay? So fraction 3v being divided by pi that's being multiplied by r squared. Or I could just leave it as pi r squared. So I can put a multiplication sign or I can not put it. All right, either one would work. Okay. So again, guys, do as much practice as you need, guys, so you guys can get it, all right, really well. So like this one is asking to solve for p, so I would divide by rt. So the answer would be I divided by rt. Okay. So again, with more practice, the better you'll get at this. All right. So like this one, I'm glad that I saw this one. So this one, it says that we're solving. It says a formula to find the frequency f of a cyclic phenomena based on the period t is f is equal to 1 over t. Okay. It says solve for t. So if you realize we have a 1 over t here, that's what f is equal to. I'm going to write this as f over 1. And you're probably wondering, why am I writing it as f over 1? Because for me to solve t, t needs to be at the top. So to get t to be at the top here, I'm going to flip it. So I'm going to flip it, and it's going to be t over 1, which is the same as just t, right? Which gets t all by itself. But if I flip this side on the right, I need to flip this side on the left. So this will flip to be 1 over f, all right? And again, t is the same as t over 1, so t is equal to 1 over f. And that is it. Okay? So again, guys, a lot of these can be easy, but a lot of them can be difficult. So that's why I recommend trying as many problems as you can of this one, because the variations can be very different. All right? So like this one says solve for v. All right? So I would get v at the top. So I have d is equal to mv. So first I'm going to write this as d over 1. Flip both sides, so it would be v over m is equal to 1 over d. So I need to get v all by itself. V is being divided by m, so I need to do the opposite of divide, which is multiply by m, multiply by m. M times, so this is the same as m over 1. So this cancels this. M times 1 is m. 1 times d is d. So your v is equal to m over d. Okay? So again, guys, just like that. So m over d. This can get difficult because, again, it doesn't have any numbers. It has only letters. So a lot of persons get intimidated by that. But I'm telling you, you guys can do this and not get intimidated. Like this one says solve for f. I flip both sides, so it'd be 1 over t. All right? So again, guys, the more you practice, the better you'll get at this. Okay? So this was the question I was waiting to try to get, okay, because that's the hardest application that I've seen, okay? So it says the formula to calculate the gravitational force between two objects is Fg is equal to g m1 m2 over r squared, where m1 and m2 are the masses of the object, g is a gravitational constant, and r is the distance between the objects. Solve for m2, so that's what we're solving for. So we have f subcase g is equal to g m1 m2 being divided by r squared. So first things first, we need to locate m2. So m2 is at the top over here on the right side. So first things first, it needs to be at the top. If it's not at the top, you would need to flip it. So because it's at the top, we're good right there. Now I'm going to get rid of anything that is being divided by. So I'm going to get rid of any denominator. So to get rid of this r squared that's dividing g m1 m2, I will multiply by r squared on both sides. So multiply by r squared. Okay? This cancels this. R squared multiplied by fg is just r squared fg. So that would stay technically the same. Okay? So r squared times fg is equal to G M1 M2. All right. I don't see any addition signs between them, so I know that the G and the M1 and M2 are multiplying by each other. Okay. So I would need to get rid of two things that I'm multiplying by. To get rid of two things I'm multiplying by, I would divide by them. So I would divide by G and M1 because I need to get M2 all by itself. So over here, I need to also divide by G that's being multiplied by M1. All right. This cancels this, and your M2 is equal to R squared being multiplied by FG over G being multiplied by M1. All right. So again, that's your answer. Or you could write it as R squared FG over G M1. Because again, when you don't see an addition or subtraction sign, what do you assume are happening? Multiplying. So again, either one of these would work. All right. So fraction r squared being multiplied by fg, and then we have g being multiplied by m1. All right. So again, guys, just like that. Okay. So good luck, guys.